described as the toughest man on the planet. Former Navy SEAL, went through 3 hell weeks to become a SEAL. Welcome everybody, I'm Russ McDonough, aka the Nomadic Veteran, and welcome to this week's video. So you're normally used to seeing me travel in a van with my missus and 2 boys. However, this week's a little bit different. So as you probably guessed by the title of the video, this week I challenged myself to the David Goggins 4x4x48, which basically means I have to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So if you don't know who David Goggins is, he's been described as the toughest man on the planet. Former Navy SEAL, went through 3 hell weeks to become a SEAL, ultra endurance athlete, he's won loads of ultras, he's just like the real deal when it comes to hardened dudes. In terms of why I wanted to do the challenge, one was because I've got a couple of ultras coming in the next few months and I wanted to see where I was in preparation for that. And another reason, which is a little bit weird, is when I first read the book Living with a SEAL, this challenge was mentioned, and I remember thinking, wow, I'd really like to try a challenge. It sounds a bit tasty, and then I never ended up doing it. And then I was scrolling on social media on Thursday, and David Goggins himself was like, "This is the weekend challenge. If you're up for it, do it." And I remember thinking, we got to do it. Why not? So on Thursday afternoon, I said to the missus, on Friday night, let's start this. And the reason why it appeals to me so much is because it's one of those where I'm a true believer in what he says. If you go through sacrifice and you go through suffering, you really find out who you are and not the person who you think you are. And that's what we're all ultimately trying to do, I reckon, is we want to find out who we actually are. Right then, people. It's 2 minutes to 8. I'm gonna go do a 2-minute warm-up. Yeah, that's all you need, really. And then we're gonna get the first 4 miles cracked at 8 o'clock on the dot. So, with that being said, we might as well fucking get this started. Right. Time to go. Gibbo, I love you. Hooch, you're in charge. Cookie, just be ginger. Good. Laters.
See ya. Careful, love you.
So hopefully you can see this. Just on the first mile, about 8 minutes. So I need to slow it down really because I've got a lot of miles fucking to go. It's so weird running in the dark. It's honking, but it's nice at the same time. Anyway, enough chit chat. Let's go. Right, first one's done. Way too fast. Less than 30 minutes. It's ridiculous. I need to slow that shit down. As I said when I was running around anyway. Basically now we've got just under 3.5 hours. So Gibbo has made me some scran. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, see that? Yeah, so I'm going to scran up with that. And that's just, what is that? A salad and avocado. Is there avocado in there?
Yeah.
A salad and avocado with some balsamic vinegar. Is that tomatoes? Basically a salad wrap, 5 of them. I love that. I've got an isotonic drink. So I'll have that, and then I'm gonna chill for the rest of the time, and then about 15 minutes before midnight, I'll get my stuff back on and we'll crack it. Yeah. So, 3.26 miles in. You'll see that I'm running on the road. Basically, Gibbo was like, I don't think it's a good idea running through a park in the middle of the night, and I think she had a fucking fair point. I was a bit scared really, a bit dark. So for nighttime runs, roads well lit. Anyway, nearly done. Right then, number 3. It's a couple of minutes to 4. Got a few hours head down, although I struggled to sleep, to be honest, because I was quite pumped. I didn't have anything to eat, so
I'm not refueled as such. I've just been having that isolated drink. That's about it. I'm going to try to slow it down this one. Going too fast. Anyway, let's get this shit done. Let's go.
So the first 3. I started the challenge Friday evening, 8 o'clock, 2000 hours. The first one was obviously pretty easy because I was pumped up. I was like, yeah, Goggins challenge and all that good shit. The second and third one, even though it was really early on the challenge, I was already like, oh God, I can't really be bothered. I know that sounds really bad. Physicality, I was like, you know, this is all right. It was just more the fact that I only got a couple of hours sleep, and then I was having to get back up at 3:45, get my rig back on and then crack it. It was just, already it was turning into a bit of a, what am I doing this for type thing, you know? But we got it cracked.
Bloody freezing today. Yeah, but on the plus side, it's so much nicer running in the day. Honestly, nighttime running, not a fan. Anyway, on our way back to the van. One minute to 4, round number 6, 4 miles. Let's go. Boom, 6 done, halfway. Let's get it.
Then it was rounds 4, 5, 6. This was really good because it was back in the daylight, which meant there was a great park next to the sort of like the area we were parked at. So I literally ran 2 miles out and 2 miles in. There's people about, so obviously you have that little bit of like, gotta keep running fast and all that good shit. It was easy to keep yourself motivated. Like I say, daylight. It was a little bit cold, but that's not really an issue. And then when I was coming in, I wasn't having, you know, I was having the time to refuel, chill out for a bit, get the isotonic drinks, all that good stuff down me. So 4, 5, and 6, yeah, I found these not too bad, to be honest. They were all right.
It's that time. Day 2. Honestly, legs are a bit sore. Yeah. And I'm also like, oh, God, I can't be fucked. That's not the attitude though, and that's the whole point of doing this. Push out your comfort zone. Anyway, yeah, let's do it. The sooner we start, the sooner we finish. Good. Number 9. Yep, let's do it. That one was hard, but when you've got Rocky in your fucking ear, it becomes easy. 3 left. 3 left. Out.
And obviously once the daylight goes, we're back into the night time. So I have run in the dark before, obviously in my military career, you know, we do most things at night. I did the Marathon des Sables over in Sahara, and one of those stages is you know, in night time. And it was agreed between myself and Gibbo that for the nighttime runs I wouldn't run in the park, safety reasons generally, so I run on the road. And these 3 were actually the hardest 3. By this stage, I wasn't napping during the day and I wasn't really sleeping on the first night, and I was like, my legs were starting to get a bit sore, my knees were starting to get a little bit sore, which obviously then you start thinking like, oh, am I doing myself any injuries for further down the line? And then I've got to admit, on one occasion, the alarm went off at 3:45 in the morning for number, what's that, 9, and I was like, man, I'm ready to rap on this. But then, you know, I said to Gibbo, I think Gibbo could kind of tell. She was like, you're not up for it, and I was like, no, I'm not really. And she was like, come on, you'll be threaders if you don't do this, because you've nearly done it now. And I was like, you know what, she's right, she was right. I got up and yeah, we cracked it. It was good. I must say, actually, when about the third or fourth run in, as I said, the physicality of the challenge wasn't. I was quite comfortable with it. So what I found was all my 4 mile times were coming under 30 minutes. So I made the challenge to myself that every single run had to come in under 30 minutes, just to make it a bit more spicy for myself. I'm not trying to sound big-headed or anything. It was just a way of keeping it a bit more interesting for myself. Otherwise, I could have just kind of maybe taken my foot off the gas a little bit, if that makes sense.
Just finishing this one, number 10. I've got a welcoming party. Hello! Hello! Ooh, Kixie, hello, G! Come on, we're not finished yet.
I've got to go, honestly. Should we get you a treat? Hang on. It's the only way to let the boys to let me run. While I get skinnier, the boys get fatter. Oh, that's a broken one. How's that? Any good? All right, good boys. Gibbo, I love you.
Love you.
I'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Oh, it's only a slight drizzle, really. Love it.
So, we're on the last 100 meters or so of the 48 miles in 48 hours. Nearly there. Oh, it's been harder than I thought. Oh yeah, that's it.
And then we got into 10, 11 and 12. Daylight running, easy. The only sort of like spanner in the works was the park which I was running in actually had like a fun run day thing going on that day. So I was like, I couldn't run through there because they barried it off and that. So I was back on the roads for 11 and 12. Again, because you're so close to the end, I was kind of like, I just get through it. I will say, like I said before, I'm not very good at eating while I'm doing fizz, so I probably wasn't getting enough scran on board, but I still managed to plough through. And I will say this: I was ready for it to finish by this stage, and yeah, I was pretty happy when it did. So yeah, job done. Okay, debrief time. Sorry, boys. First up, it's given me massive confidence in my knees. I was a little bit worried about my knees, as I said, but they've held up really, really well. Yes, they're a bit sore, but I think anyone's knees will probably be quite sore after 48 miles, so confidence is growing in them again. Second of all, my training for the big 106 I think is on schedule. Yes, this was only 48 miles, but you know what? It's given me a huge confidence that I can actually crack that 106. And I'd say the other thing is, like, I'm a former Royal Marine, and you know, I like to think I'm quite strong-minded. But even on times of this, I was maybe not looking for a way out, but I was comfortable. So at 3:45 in the morning, on both mornings, I was warm and snug in my bed, and I was like, oh, you know, I don't need to do this. I don't need to prove to anyone that I can do this. And it was because I was comfortable, I was warm, I was cozy. And it's a bit like Joe Rogan says, you've got to conquer your inner bitch, and I had to. So I think if anyone's worried about doing the 4 miles, like physically, if you're fit enough to do 4 miles every 4 hours for 48, do it. Like I did, you can make it a little bit harder. If you're not quite up to that scale, then scale it down. But you'll get the mental challenge of having every 4 hours on the dot, you've got to then be like, shit, it's go time. And it is just pushing yourself out of that comfort zone, which ultimately it's all about, isn't it? No matter if you're running 4 miles, cycling 4 miles, running 2 miles, it's just about pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. So I would highly recommend anybody, you know, really can do this challenge in one shape or form, if that's the correct saying. Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I highly recommend anybody to give it a go. And if you do, please let me know how you get on. Let me know what you found difficult, what you found easy, dare I say it. Lastly, if you've got any other crazy sort of like challenges which you think I could be interested in, or which you've completed and you were like, Russ, you've got to try this, dude, let me know in the comments. And I think that's it for this week. Next week's video will be totally different again. I'll be back to a normal video as such. If you did like this video, thumbs up, baby. If you want to subscribe, please do. It'd mean a world to me. Don't forget to hit that notification little bell thing there. Comment with all your good, bad comments. And yeah, I think that's it. Good. Leaders? I'm editing the video which you are now watching, and as a little treat to myself for running all those miles, good old British chip butter. Yeah, there's not much more else to say that. I've got to replenish somehow, so that's enough.